It's hard to explain it. It's like a feeling in your stomach, like without sounding like a manic depressive, like a pit of misery in your stomach where it's like you can't shake it. But yeah, I can remember. I'll let him tell the story. But I can remember like his first attempt at MCing in his living room. I think we was watching. I think it was Joe Duffy's comeback, wasn't it?
Oh.
Literally, all you heard in the build up was, you know, how's she gonna top that last one? You know what I mean? That's all you heard. How's she gonna top that last one? She literally did the same things.
I know.
Spinning elbow, it just didn't take her as fucking long to finish it. To be honest, the Scousers saved the show, really, didn't they? But obviously, if Nate somehow wins, which I think, you know, you can't, like Nate said, you can't count him out. And even as a Nate fan, like me, like a super fan, you wouldn't be fucking... I'm not looking at anyone saying, well, you really think Khamzat's going to just come and maul him? Because it could well happen, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Cage Warriors Wales.
Yeah.
Cage Warriors coming back to Wales on the 13th of August. What's it, the first time in 3 years, H?
Think about since the pandemics was at
Episode 1 of the
listening to
podcast.
Australia bang. If it's beefy and losing, keep it moving like a caravan. See feds at the back door. Get go, that's what we trap for. Some man they wanna chat shit till I knock 'em, ain't like I'm Jack
Levels
Shaw.
to the game.
Rolls hat, rolls stack, my flow sharp like a hacksaw. Getting off.
Right, we're back. Episode 8 of the Tanked Up podcast. We've got myself, beautiful co-host Joe, who's just out of shot there, I think, mind.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
leaning
are.
a bit back.
We're back.
And the one and only Europe, and maybe even the world's best MC, in my humble opinion, Howell H. Chaplin.
Cheers for coming, mate. Appreciate you being here.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy days. So, back in the room. It's been a little while, and it's probably been about a month since we last recorded.
Yeah.
But,
been a busy couple of weeks. Elephant in the room, obviously, lost my fight. But there you go. So, yeah, what was it? We went to New York 10 days before the fight.
Yeah.
So we had a long old time out there. It was a good trip, though. You know, just done a bit of sightseeing. Done a bit of training over at Longo Weidman MMA. Good fight, really. In it till we won in it. That's why everyone keeps saying I haven't watched it back because I am ready to watch it back yet. I'm still showing off in a little bit, but we was in it till we wasn't in it. Just got clipped. Classic temple shot. Done a little bit of a sanky leg, and before I knew it, I was in the choke. It's funny in a way because I have seen the finish. Obviously, I seen the finish on the day. I fell on my back, kind of thing. But in my head, I can't remember none. I remember getting clipped. And the first thing in my head was, fuck, I'm on the deck, but I better move. Yeah. But in my head, I was kind of like face down, and he was coming into me from the side. But yeah, good fight. Some good positives. Obviously, negative is we lost. First loss in fucking 9 years, I think, something like that. Yeah. So tough one to take, but yeah, it is what it is. Live and learn. I've dished out enough losses to have to take one like a man. So I didn't cry and whinge and show off about it. I haven't gone off the radar. I've tried to, well, I have a little bit, but you know, I've tried to stay in touch with people, and yeah, we don't know what's next. We'll see what happens. We'll see what going on holidays with the missus finally in August, so she don't kill me.
Yeah,
and then we'll see what happens. We'll see. It may be November time. It may be next year. We'll see what. I spoke to Graham in the week, and we got a little plan of how we'd like things to play out, but as we know, the division's pretty much booked up, so we got to let a couple of fights happen, let a couple of results play out, and go from there, really, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, like you said, it's been like, what, 9 years. It's got to be like a weird feeling in it to start out, but
it is a weird feeling, but it always feels the same. It always feels like the way I felt on the night was exactly the same as how because my last loss was obviously an amateur boxing match out in Sweden, and I can remember the same. Despite, like, obviously in Sweden there was fucking probably 50 people in the room, and obviously it's a big arena on BT Sport in front of the world. It's still the exact same feeling. Still feel like the same. It's hard to explain it. It's like a feeling in your stomach, like without sounding like a manic depressive, like a pit of misery in your stomach, where it's like you can't shake it. You know, you just got it's one of them. You just got to suck it up. And I think the quicker you accept that it's happened, the quicker you can get over it. And I'm not completely over it yet. Do you know what I mean? I haven't even watched the fight back, so I can't be that over it yet. But at the same time, I've got good people around me who've always kept me grounded anyway. So we knew if we did ever lose, it was never going to send me into a fucking spiral of depression or a spiral of, I'm not fighting again. And you know what I mean? You got to take it like a man at the end of the day. If we're in a sport where someone got to win and someone got to lose 99% of the time, unless it's a fucking draw or no contest. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. And you know every time you go in there, there's a 50% chance that you could be the guy who loses. So just and take it on the chin, or the temple, as I should say.
Well, mate, like I was looking at this weekend's fight card, and like you're looking at like all the champions and all the people who were like top of the division, whatever, and none of them have got an O at the end of their record. No. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like, all right, this is it now, it's all fucked, is it?
Well, like you said, you just look at the weekend. I think Amanda's got 4 losses or 5 losses. Pena's got a few. I think Kai Kara-France has got 9 losses, and now he's fighting for a belt. Moreno's got like 6 losses, something like that. He's fighting for a belt. Even look at like, I don't know, just go back like the card last weekend. Like for example, the main event, Tom Aspinall's got 3 losses. Curtis Blades has got a few losses.
Molly was on a big losing streak till she found her
Molly, until she got on this wicked win streak. She's on, like you said, she lost two in a row. Or one, I think she lost her first one and then lost 1 or 2. So it is what it is. I'll take it on the chin, take it like a man, and move on from it.
That's it, mate. I think that's a brilliant attitude to have anyway. And at the end of the day, because that's the only way you're going to be able to move forward. And if you like make all the excuses in the world about it, or claim it's something it's not, then how are you ever going to move forward?
Yeah, exactly. Like the reality of it is, I think if I had gone in there and just got blown away, it'd probably be easier to take, because I could have just looked and thought, right, well, I'm not good enough to be at that level yet. Not ready for that level opponent. I got a lot of work to do. But the fact is, the first round probably could have gone either way. Again, I haven't watched the fight, but like I was speaking to Graham and my old man, and they were saying that he was confused going back the corner, saying, what am I meant to do? I can't get him down. I can't land no strikes. Apart from a couple of leg kicks, I was probably having the better of the striking. He did get a couple of good takedowns, but probably didn't score with them because he didn't secure position. I was up every time, apart from the big fucking pick-up slam. I'm sure he scored for that one. But, I keep saying, I was in it till I wasn't in it. But the reality of it is I got clipped and submitted. So there's obviously areas we got to work on as well. But back in the gym, I've got a little a light injury that we won't get into too many details on, that I got to nurse for a couple of weeks. But I'm back doing what I can, helping Brett out, helping the boys out for Cage Warriors. So, yeah. The wheels are back turning for 2 weeks anyway. Then I'll have a week of getting fat on holidays, and then we'll start again.
Happy days, mate. Can't fault it. Well, there we are. I think to address that, I think a lot of people.
That's the elephant in the room out the way.
Yeah, I think everyone wanted.
So today we got Big H on. I have known H for 27 years, and yes, I'm only 27 years old.
So am I. Like to point out.
Yeah. Me and H was in hospital at the same time, actually, as kids, which is a funny story because not a lot of people know that me and him have been friends long before he was an MC and long before I was a fighter. I've known him all my life. And, so I think people sort of just assume that he's a Welsh MC, I'm a Welsh fighter, and we sort of know each other through Cage Warriors. But the reality of it is I've known him a lot longer than that. Long before he was a superstar MC, long before he was the voice of Cage Warriors. So yeah, that's a little background on how I know him. Anyway, we was in Oslo at the same time, both premature. He's got a little bit of a better sob story than I have. Come through school together, grew up together, right the way up until now. I can remember. I'll let him tell the story, but I can remember like his first attempt at MCing in his living room. I think we was watching. I think it was Joe Duffy's comeback, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Joe Duffy's comeback to MMA. He fought on Cage Warriors, and Hitch was watching. I think it was probably Joe Martinez at the time do the MC. And I reckon I could do that. And then I got a photo, but I'll have to try and send it to him. Maybe we can pop it up.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
But I can remember him. I was like, "Come on, and give us your best go at it." And he weren't bad. And what was it? About a year or two later,
something like that. But a couple of years later, wasn't it? We watched the fight, and I would have loved to be a fighter, but I knew I'd be a domestic punching bag. Like I've said, I said at the point, I was like, closer. I think I could do that. I could definitely definitely get in there and give that a go. And you say, no, you couldn't. And your old man said, go on in, show you, get up, show you what you can do. So,
This was just slightly after his failed BJJ career.
yeah.
Longest serving white belt in the fucking gym, I think.
Yeah, veteran white belt. And in my best Bruce Buffer fashion, I showed your old man what I could do, and we went from there. Then a couple of years later, I picked up my first show in a rugby club in Llanelli, which after going to all like the pain pit shows was a big shock because the cage was on the floor. Beer started flying over it. And I thought, what's going on here? But yeah, no, we moved on and we got to where we are.
What was the show you used to do with Robbie? I remember it was like a week before my first fight on Cage Warrior, so I would have been 20. So you would have been the same as me. I'd been 21. Yeah. I was 1-0. So this is how long ago I was 1-0 as a pro, and it was like the week before my fight, and it was like fucking, you're not doing nothing. You can't eat. You can't go out on the piss, and you text me and it was like, do you want, I got a spare. I got like a +1 to this show I'm doing, because you've done a few, I know. This one your first show with Robbie, you've done a few. I think it's like a white collar boxing.
That's right, yeah, it was white collar.
And he was like, do you want to come along? And obviously I hadn't watched him MC and since the fucking living room, since he gave the Bruce Buffer in the living room, and he's like, do you want to come along? And it was a proper job, when it was like a suit and tie, you had to dress up. And I went along and watched him do these. Because you'd done a little bit. I knew, tell a lie. I watched you do you done like the undercard of a show in Leary. Yeah. So this was about a year later, and you've been doing them every other week.
Yeah.
And I remember coming along in my fucking suit that I'm worn since I've been to a wedding, and I couldn't believe how good he was doing. Like in the space of a year, he'd gone from being like nervous with this fucking dreadful American accent that me and my mom was like, stop putting the American voice on.
Is there any footage of that anyway?
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So he went from this like not dreadful, but you could tell he was new to the game. Tell he hadn't a lot of experience. To then watching him do this white collar thing, and I'd had it fucking nailed down. It helped as well that he was in Cardiff. The crowd were rowdy. They were all there to watch their mates pissed up, and you could see he was feet. I remember you interviewed Joe Cordina.
That's right.
He just come back from he was going to the Olympics, or he just come back from the Olympics, and I couldn't get over it. And I remember saying to my old man, he's fucking getting better. And then I just remember as the years gone, he's getting better and better and better. And fucking hell, before you know it, he's in. So how did that come about? Tell him how it came about with you becoming the Cage Warriors MC, pretty much.
Long story short, I suppose your dad was looking for someone to cover the Cage Warriors Wales shows, or you needed cover for a Cage Warriors Wales show. So I covered one. And then him and Colin basically came to me and said, do you want to do it, do the rest of our shows going forward? So I said, yeah. So I did the independent shows, and I did the undercards for the televised, the numbered Cage Warriors events. And then Cage Warriors 99 in Colchester, they needed an MC. And I was out for food with my girlfriend and her family, and my phone rang. It was your dad. I thought, oh, that's weird. I thought, well, I'm sure I can ring him back after. Like, he texted me, like, ring me now.
As he does.
I was like, what's going on? So I rang him. I tell you what it was. What's that barbecue place in Cardiff? Shut down. Hang Fire, yeah. Yeah. So, like, the food's massive, right? So, anyway, I speak to your dad, and he says, do you want to do Cage Warriors 99? Yeah, definitely, right? I'll speak to Boylan. I'll get back to you. So I go back and eat my food then. I got this massive plate of ribs. I cannot eat a thing. Like, nervous. Like I said, I was like, I've got to the toilet. Me sick now. No, lo and behold, I did. Like, toddled off. Was sick in the toilet. Came back. Had a bit of food, wherever. Went up to Cage Warriors 99.
So that was the next day, or like the following week?
Following week. And then, yeah, Cage Warriors 100 was in Wales. So I did the undercard for that. That was your title fight.
That was my title fight. Yeah, big.
Day,
just to big myself up. Biggest Cage Warriors card is in history at the time. Sold out arena. Massive names on the undercard, and obviously I was main event. But yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah. And then I had a phone call off your dad again, saying, give Graham a ring. They want someone for just going forward with Cage Warriors. That was it. I rang Graham. He said, do you want to be my guy on the mic for next year? I said, yes, please, Mr. Boylan.
Mr. Boylan.
And we went, and here we are now.
The rest is history. Yeah, and it was funny because obviously, again, like we said at the beginning, me and H have grown up together, are really good friends, come through school together. Like his nan used to take me to school. You know, we've literally come up from like, we've probably been good friends from like 10 years of age.
Yeah.
And then obviously my last fight in Cage Warriors when I fought Scott Malone, and we didn't know I was going to UFC, but they were very interested before the fight, and we sort of had an inkling that, you know, because I was signed for a 5-fight deal, this is my fight free, but me and my old man were kind of like, if we get a good win,
it's the blueprint as well.
Yeah, we was kind of like, and my Cage Warriors contract was a little different because I was selling so many tickets. I was on really good money, you know, I was on enough money to do it as a full-time job with Cage Warriors, but the rule was, you know, if I signed a 5-fight deal, I had to be there for the 5 fights. So obviously this was only fight free. But we kind of knew, like, you know, I kind of knew I could smooth Boylan over, and 99% of the time with Cage Warriors, if you can get Boylan on side, then the silent guys, the big dogs at the top, will kind of you know, agree with him. And it's funny because we kind of knew would I win, it'd be my last fight. It was like the biggest card Wales had ever had. You had people like Diaz and Josh Reed and everyone on the undercard. I think we went undefeated that night as a team. Yeah, I think it was me, Ors, Des, and there may have been one other.
Oban fought, but
Oban wasn't with us at the time though, was he? I'm trying to think.
Corey McKenna fight?
Yeah.
Did Corey fight? No, Corey lost. I don't think Corey did fight. No, I don't think Corey fought on that one. Anyway, so it was a big night, and it to talk. And I think it was the first time your mother and father came to watch him MC live. Came to watch because they're not fight fans, but they never would come and watch me fight because they obviously grew up. They know me as a kid, like, and so his mother and father came to watch because they kind of thought this might be the only chance we get to see him introduce me. And so like my last ever fight on Cage Warriors, main event in the biggest card in Welsh history, and H is there fucking introducing me.
It's a mad little story.
And and there's a picture. You'll be able to dig it up. Of me kind of like pacing back and forth, and he's doing like the intro, and it's like, how the fuck did we end up here? Kind of thing.
What
Like,
happened? Yeah.
if he had said to us in 10 years ago in school, in fucking 10 years time, you're going to be fighting for a world title, fucking dribbling, in a stadium, you know, like in an ice hockey stadium in Wales, biggest show ever. Oh yeah, and H is going to be in there with the MC, and I'd be like, shut the fuck up.
Funny you say that. Our old Year 5 teacher, shout out Mr. Mills, legend.
Yeah, funny enough, he messaged me a couple of months ago on Twitter.
Me as well, yeah, on Twitter, yeah. Saying how mad it was that was going on.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a funny old story, and obviously now does every cage. Like you've done some. When you look at the names, you've obviously done me. You've introduced people like Paddy, Ian Gary, Jai Herbert, I think you've done. Yeah. That's just to name a few. You know, Christian Duncan's another one who's probably going to go on to be a massive star. Guys like Paul Hughes and Jordan Vasenik, like you think that's an iconic kind of fighting again. So that's a mental fight, and going to be like me meant being a trilogy if Paul wins this one, that you were going to be the guy who saw. Yeah, mad old story.
Something to tell the grandkids.
Yeah, and like I keep saying, you never know. Fucking one day Bruce's flight might get delayed for the London card. They might need an MC.
Who knows?
Yeah, you'll be stepping in.
Who's a chance are they gonna ring?
I'm about, lads. I'm about.
They're gonna ring. Oh, let me tell you, when the UFC needs someone in the UK, do you know what they ring? Mr. Boylan. And when they say Mr. Boylan, we need an MC, he's gonna go, I know a guy.
That's it, innit?
So you never know. Like, because it's opportunity at the end of the day. The reality of it is, like you said, you got the Cage Warriors gig because you was available to help them out on short notice, done a good job, and they were like, fucking hell, we use him. You know, so you never know. Dana, come on. Let's get, we've got a Welsh fighter in the UFC.
Chance.
We've got the Welsh fighters in the UFC. Let's have a Welsh MC.
That'd be quality, wouldn't it, mate? Do you reckon you could hold the nerves in like doing a UFC?
Joe, we'd blow the roof off the place.
Right, you would.
I think, to be honest, you'd find like, because I find this anyway. Like I don't get nervous really with fighting, and like the last fight, you know, beforehand, it kind of doesn't phase you after so long. And I think because you've done big shows now with big atmospheres. Don't be wrong, you haven't done a 20,000 seater, but you've done ice hockey stadiums. You've done 4,000, 3,000. I think after a certain, you know, like like a probably MCing me or MCing a world title fight in Cage Warriors, like doing a UFC card is not gonna feel you've done BT Sport and UFC Fight Pass, so the stakes are pretty much for you are the same.
They're
You
similar,
know, as long as you don't fucking jumble your words, you're all right.
You're still going out to like, you know, however many, you know, you still go out to a big audience for Cage Warriors because they have that global audience on Fight Pass and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
So I know I forget about the camera, and my job is just to give information to people in the room, isn't it? So as long as I do that, I deliver on that.
I remember you saying something before, funny enough. I think it was you who said it. And I think this is why you do so well, is because you kind of understand your role. Like you said, no one's there to watch you.
No.
Your job is to hype the crowd up, ready to watch their guy.
If anything, like, I think a good MC should almost not be noticed. Like maybe with the exception of like a big main event build up. Like
of course they play their role, don't they? But again, even like Bruce Buffer doing like Saturday doing a world title fight, as much as everyone loves Bruce Buffer, you haven't bought the ticket to watch Bruce Buffer, you've bought the ticket to watch the fight.
Yeah.
And Bruce is probably the best in the world, understanding his job is solely to fire the fucking crowd up so they are ready to go nuts for the fight. Yeah. And I think that's why, you, like you say, you've got that kind of mindset where it's like, you're not here to watch me, I'm going to fire the crowd up for both these fighters in the hope that it's going to fire them up and you deliver a good fight.
That's where you get your buzz from. You get your buzz from you're in the crowd going.
Yeah, exactly.
That pop in the crowd. Like
because a good MC is able to fire the crowd up. You know what I mean? Like, you watch some MCs and announcers and stuff and you're like, they got no charisma, they don't look the part, and it's kind of like the crowd isn't really buzzed. But you get a good MC, especially for a main event, fire the crowd up. More often than not, the fighters feed off that themselves, you know. Like you look at people like Josh Reed.
Yeah.
Every time you
one of my favourite people.
Every time you do an intro for him, you can see he's fucking fired up. Paul Hughes is another one, I think. I've seen Paul Hughes kind of like you fucking right in Paul Hughes' face, giving it all out, and you can see, you know, he's like he loves the buzz of the crowd now, doesn't he? So it's good to watch, and I hope. Well, I don't know. I'd like to think I know that. You'll get a little Cage Warriors into UFC. You'll be like You'll be like the first. You know, you got the fighters. You got the fighters that blueprint their way through Cage Warriors to UFC.
Follow the John Gooden pathway.
H will be the first MC to do it. Yeah, they've had a commentator do it. Let's have an MC do it.
Why not, innit, mate? That'd be awesome. Do you do much now, like outside of Cage Warriors, or do you just stick to that at the minute?
I do Cage Warriors. I do the Cage Warriors Academy shows in Wales. I've done a couple up in the southeast as well, but quite often they clash with the Wales ones. So it makes sense for me to do those as opposed to Trek, like 2.5 hours.
100%.
So. But no, mainly just Cage Warriors. But
yeah,
it's good because I have to do like the weigh-ins and stuff as well now, which is a good little gig as well.
Yeah,
like because that helps. I know like there's no big crowd at the weigh-ins, but like it's always on. Like I remember,
you need to know how it runs, like procedure wise.
Like I remember, they used to like Dan Hardy and stuff do it. So like the fact they got you doing it now, they must have a lot of trust in you because. You know, Dan Hardy's a tough act. No offense. Dan Hardy's a tough act.
He's a tough act to follow. Yeah. He's a legend, Dan.
When you watch like a UFC weigh-in or whatever, though, that is what I think that sells a lot of the fight, though, doesn't it? So if like Cage Warriors start doing that, because when you see people like, if you see like Rogan on the mic or whatever, introducing them to the weigh-ins, like that does get you buzzed for the fight the next day, doesn't it? It must sell so many more pay-per-views. So having like you there, making it more professional, getting people to face off. Like,
well, it buzzes the fighters as well. Like to be honest, speaking from personal experience, like you know the London weigh-ins, they were fucking like mental, fucking bonkers. Then like the Long Island weigh-ins were pretty shit, to be honest. There was probably like fucking 100 people in there, no real buzz, no real kind of like madness from the crowd, which doesn't really matter because the crowd on the night were fucking insane. In all fairness, just as good as the London crowd. Maybe not as good, but you know they were. Considering I was a Welsh guy fighting an American, I had a good pop from the crowd, and I could feel the atmosphere. But like the weigh-ins weren't the best. So like you said, even on a scale of even it's just the coaches and a couple of friends there.
Yeah.
If you can create a bit of atmosphere at the fight, it kind of like it's like a little preview for the next day. So I like it when they do that type of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Even like watching you and like Ricky face off or whatever, or you and Valiev, like you say, that's like like just builds like a feeling in you, doesn't it? Oh fucking hell, it's gonna go off now tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the first real time. Unless you run into them in the hotel, you're gonna see your opponent, and you get a look into their eyes, and you know they get a look into sometimes you get a little read on if they're nervous, if they're anxiety, or if they fucking. You can also feel when they're fired up and don't give a fuck either. Like so, it's a good little gauge, and I think the crowd feed off. And like you said, look at like a McGregor weigh-in. There's like 20,000 people there, and that does nothing but build
Sell the fight.
for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Even a day before the fight, when 95% of the pay-per-views already sold, that weigh-in, and a McGregor especially always fight it like, oh no, he's trying to fucking push and shove at the weigh-in. It sells even more, doesn't it? Like you said, Joe Rogan's there, Dana's there. It's the same with Cage George. You know, they might start doing something like that because Cage George is getting bigger.
Yeah.
So
I think they'd be able to at this point. Like,
I think like with the right card they could, especially like, you know, like a Paul Hughes in Ireland, or like a Welsh card with like Oban and Josh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know we haven't got a Welsh champion or nothing yet, so it's kind of hard to argue it. But like I know if they did like a public weigh-in, like say 150 tickets, 100 tickets, when I was fighting here, people would come because the UFC don't charge tickets for weigh-ins. If you just opened it up and said, look, come in, watch the weigh-ins, create a bit, people would come. So you never know, they could end up doing it.
How different is it as a fighter, obviously, like doing the ceremonial weigh-ins? Because when you were Cage Warriors, when you weighed in, you weighed in and then show your opponent. Whereas with the UFC, you do your official weigh-ins, then you do your ceremonial weigh-ins, which is the ones we see on screen afterwards. Like, how different is that for you? Like, do you feel much more like can you take it in more?
Yeah, it's much easier. Because obviously when you're fighting in Cage Wars, like what people don't get, when I was fighting with Cage Wars, you couldn't wait until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which was a ball ache.
Yeah.
I'm glad, like, it don't make no difference to me now, but they finally changed it now. You weigh in the morning. Because I was fucking on to them for fucking years. Like, put the weigh in the morning. No, I put it at 3 o'clock. I was like, no. The argument used to be, I think, that fighters travelling would have to book a day off work coming like before. And I was like, there's not one fighter on that fucking card that will say to you, I would rather weigh in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon over 10 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, obviously when you're depleted and dehydrated and stuff, you couldn't give a fuck about the stare off. You know, you just fucking want to refill. I don't care if he's giving it the big one, if he's trying to look tough. I'm praying he doesn't want to push and shove at the Cage Warriors rings. I think I'm going to energy in me to fucking get into a fight now. Whereas with the UFC one, when you weigh it, when you do the face off 6-7 hours later, you're refilled, you feel good, and you can take in the atmosphere. And like with Valiev, if things do get a little bit, you know, pushy and shovey, you can almost laugh it off and play along with it. Whereas if that had been like in the morning when I was dehydrated, I'd for a fact I would have wanted to kill him, even though I wouldn't have been able to because I would have been depleted. Which can then obviously, if you want him, if it gets you that anger that you want to fucking kill him, it's like the can then impact how you go out and fight. Whereas the fact that I was like calm-headed because I wasn't angry, I wasn't thirsty, just kind of laughed it off. It didn't make a difference then going into the next day, because people do try and play these games at the weigh-ins where they'll try and fire you. I know someone like me, I don't get fired up by a lot, so it'll take a lot to piss me off. But you know, you see it with McGregor, he's a king of it. Like with Aldo, he had Aldo that angry that he played exactly into his hands. So it's much, I prefer like the weigh-in in the morning, then stay off in the afternoon kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think like the stare off is like a main selling point. For instance, like this is more locally, you know, like when Sean George fought Dan Chapman or whatever, the amount of messages I had that day, like, how can I get this fight? No one was really interested in it until they seen Sean tell him he's going to fold him up like a £5 note. And that was it then, like fucking...
And again, it's a good marketing play for the company, because BKB or... BK or BK...
Yeah, BKB.
They're not BK... Yeah, BKB, Sean's company, isn't it? Like you said, they seen, and they know that that's going to fucking draw an interest. What do they do straight away? Fire the video out.
Yeah.
It's the same in the UFC. Like, you can see the views now on Instagram. Even my London weigh-in, that had more views than some of the more popular fights I had, because he fucking grabbed me and it was a bit of, do you know what I mean? Whereas sometimes you just stand. So it's a good, like you say, it sells the fight. How many people watched Dan against Sean? They'll probably want to watch it if they didn't see that video in the morning.
I reckon I had about 10 people message me that day just because no one knows how to actually get it.
Yeah.
So like that makes all the difference, doesn't it? Like 100%. How many people messaged loads of other people who were into it. They must have made a hell of a lot more money that day because of that. And that, not that you want to promote that because everyone like wants to be respectful on that, but you can see why people like McGregor and that sell so much, don't they? Because people jump onto that, don't they? They don't need to be like emotionally invested.
Yeah. Speaking of, anyway, we'll move on because fucking
time's flying.
Time is flying. We'll do UFC London.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Not a bad card, was it?
It was good.
I don't think it was. Not that the card was weak, but as the fights played out, I don't think it was as entertaining as the first one, because I think there was something like 9 finishes on the first one. I think there's only like 4 finishes on this one. But yeah, like the 3 main fights, when let's be honest, was that it was Molly, Paddy, and Aspinall. So start with Molly. It's fucking hell.
Unbelievable.
Literally, all you heard in the build up was, how's she gonna top that last one? You know what I mean? That's all you heard. How's she gonna top that last one? She literally did the same things.
I know.
Spinning elbow. It just didn't take her as fucking long to finish it. Fair play to her. What a knockout! Because I seen videos all through the week on Instagram of Molly on the pads practicing spinning elbows, and it's kind of like, is she looking for that again, or is that the UFC kind of because which they do, when they're filming, and they use UFC saying oh, can you throw a couple of spinning elbows because of last time, but fucking fair play. Fair fucking play.
She knew exactly where she was as well when she was throwing it, didn't she? It was picture perfect.
There was no luck about that.
No.
That was planned because you could tell the way she set it up, the distance she covered. She could see the girl was on the cage. Knew she had nowhere to back up. It was perfect. It was a perfect elbow, and then obviously to finish her like she did, to drop her and as good as knock her out cold, which you don't see in you don't see as much in the women division, other than Amanda. You don't tend to see women knocking people out cold, other than Molly in her last two fights. So
yeah, she didn't waste anything on the way down either, did she? I don't think she missed a strike.
It's going to prepare her again. It's going to make her even, because she's a star already, but it's going to make you got to see Drake putting $2 million bets on her and Paddy, and going to buy him Rolexes, and Stormzy's out in the changing room. It's like they're like A-list, or is that how you say it? A-list celebrities,
pretty much now, yeah.
Especially Paddy, going on to his fight as well. It's insane how big of a star he is after 3 fights. Because he was always a star in Cage Warriors. You can vouch to this. I think he had 140,000 followers just from Cage Warriors, because he's a beauty on the mic, and
sell out arenas as well.
He pulls out these one-liners. And people don't understand. He talks about selling out Anfield. He could do it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not like bravado. Oh, I could sell out that. He could fucking sell out. When he was in Kid, he's selling 8,000 tickets in the Echo Arena.
Yeah.
He could sell out Anfield. He could at least help sell out Anfield.
Yeah.
With the help of probably Darren Till, Molly,
Tom
Aspinall, chuck me on there, have a couple of Welsh go up. 100%, these London cards they're putting on, you put it in Anfield, they could 100% sell it out.
I think so as well.
I think they'll probably likely not look to do it till Paddy's in the position to main event, or like a ranking fight or a big fight. Do you know what I mean? But they could do it now. I think if you got Paddy the right opponent, not saying a world beat the top 10, but a guy with a bit of a name, they could do it now. Especially with you could main event him now. I don't think they will. I think they'll bring him up right.
Yeah.
But you could main event him now. And what I'll say for Paddy is that Monkey King, I don't think he's ever going to be a top 15 guy, but you can't argue with the stats. I think he was 3-1 in the UFC going into that fight. Not a great striker, but you look at the first round, he gave Paddy a bit of trouble in the first round. Probably won the round. I know Paddy took the back at the end, but probably won the round. Took him down multiple times, controlled him a little bit. So then for Paddy to come back and then finish him in the second round, because Paddy's ground game is fucking good, really good. When I seen that kid in the week saying, my grappling's better than his, it's fucking. If he was gonna plan to fight Paddy, I don't think the best approach is to try and out grapple him. Do you know what I mean? That's his bread and butter, especially his back takes. If he's a bit like Liu Long. He reminds me of. Yeah. If he takes your back, you're in fucking trouble. So
you look at his early fights, and he was submission heavy as well.
Yeah, big time. I remember the flight. You got flying triangles, rear naked chokes. You can't argue with the result, can you? It's second round finish. And it just adds to the buzz again. People, I seen Dana saying now they're going to try and get him a fight out in America before the end of the year. You had Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports there, which again is just building his profile. So, to be honest, the Scousers saved the show, really, didn't they? Because it was, Jay Herbert had a good win and stuff. But other than, who else fought from the UK?
Wood fought the knee.
Wood fought. That was a bit lackluster. One of that fight. Rosa's not the fucking best, is he? Let's be.
No, fucking hell. He took some. I didn't think he was going to stand up a couple of times.
No, and it was just fucking when you got to switch it up at some point. When anyone look for a takedown or something.
Yeah.
But Wood fought. Jai Herbert had a win, which I was glad to see because Jai is a beast, and he's literally had murderer's row
Yeah, I was
since
about
he's
to
gone
say,
to
yeah,
UFC.
he's done tough.
So I'm glad they give him another fight. Especially, I know he lost to Poirier, but how well he did in the first round.
Yeah.
You know, sort of showed his level a little bit. Like to do that to Poirier in the first round, you gotta be fucking good. So then to see him go on and get a win, which means, you know, he's probably gonna have another couple of fights, which is great to see. I know he's not fucking British, but Dalby had a good win.
Yeah.
Rough night for Paul Craig. Volkman just played the game, didn't he? Just didn't engage on the floor. Did what he had to do. Rough night for Gustafsson.
Oh, yeah, I was gutted for him.
Probably time to retire, to be honest.
You'd think so.
Because no disrespect to his opponent, but prime Gustafsson would walk through him.
Yeah.
So probably time to retire. And then obviously Aspinall was fucking, which I was gutted about because I genuinely believe Tom can win the title.
Yeah.
And apart from Leon, I think he's probably the closest in the UK to doing it. But
you could see from the off it was going to be a banger as well.
Yeah, well, they come out, didn't they? The pair of them, Tom come out pressing forward. You know, look how you should fight a wrestler, really. Try and put him on the back foot. Curtis Blades was loading up when he was ready to throw bombs as well, and to see it end like that. I think he did a video yesterday, Tom, yesterday, because this is coming out today, Thursday, saying that he's got to wait for the swelling to go down and he's got to have an MRI. They suspect it's MCL, I think, or an ACL. So hopefully, I know it's never good with a knee, is it? Because he's a big fucking guy as well. But hopefully, you know, it's not like an 18-month recovery. Then hopefully the UFC can sort him out and we can get him healed up. But at the same time, we don't want to rush him back and obviously it go again. No,
he's so explosive as well, and he'd be like if he didn't take the right amount of time, it'd be so easy for him to get injured again because he is literally like a rocket, and once he goes, that's it. Like there's no stopping him. He is a sprinter, isn't he, when he fights?
Yeah, he's like you say, he's explosive. He's fast for the weight. Just a shame because it didn't look a lot, did it? He kind of just stepped back and he must have
even slow mo.
It makes me wonder, was it injured going into the fight?
Yeah.
Did he twinge it in the warm up or maybe twinge it in camp and he's been nursing it a little bit? Because for it to go like that, you know, it could just be a freak accident.
We've seen that before, haven't we?
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me to see to hear that perhaps something had happened in training, or I seen a rumor online that something happened in the warm up, but he hasn't come out and said that. So how can you fucking where's that rumor come from? You know what I mean?
Like unless it's one of his camp or whatever, innit?
But shame for Tom, but no doubt he'll come back from it. He'll come back. You know, he's one of them. At the same time, he hasn't took no major damage.
No.
It's just a case of getting his knee right and going again. And I don't think he's hurt his stock at all. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's got knocked out in 15 seconds. People are going to look at that and think, look, it was an injury.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's not good enough to compete with the top 5 guys.
It's kind of better for him. Like, it would be a lot worse if it happened in, like, round 3 and he'd lost the first 2, wouldn't it? Like, no one knows what was going to happen in that fight. If anything, he looked really aggressive.
Yeah.
So everyone's probably looking at it like, could have gone either way.
Yeah,
There's no winner or loser
just
in
run
this
it
fight.
again.
Yeah.
What else is on the itinerary, Joe? I know we got...
Let's have a look. We have got Diaz and Kamzat.
Diaz and Kamzat. Oh, fucking get in there. Yeah. Come on, Nate. On, Nate.
A lot, like, obviously the consensus around like MMA media and whatever is that he's getting fed to the Lions basically.
Yeah, do you know anyone else they said that as well? Was when he fucking fought McGregor on 10 days notice.
That's right.
You can't write off Diaz, can you?
You can never write off Nate Diaz. Like, all jokes aside, if he was a betting man, you'd pick Kamzat, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You've got it looks, doesn't it? Like Diaz is his last fight of the UFC deal. He's kind of like he's dissed the UFC online. He's kind of like fuck the UFC pretty much. I want out. So Dana's kind of been like, all right then, here you go, all the best. But at the same time, it's a risky fight for the UFC as well because everyone bar people like me or Diaz farmers are kind of just expecting Kamzat to walk through him. But what does it do for Kamzat if he wins? It doesn't propel. It makes him a bigger star.
Yeah.
But you know, Nate have lost his last few. But if Nate beats him. And then, you know, what happens then? Because the reality of it is, Kamzat is probably top what? He's in the top, I'd say, 7 or 8 biggest stars in the UFC at the minute. They're going to try and push him in there for the title fight. If he wins a belt, he's going to be a pay-per-view star. He's this fucking savage killer. But obviously, if Nate somehow wins, which I think, you know, you can't, like Nate said, you can't count him out. So if Nate somehow ends up pulling off the win and then says, fuck the UFC, I'm out of here, ta-ra, I'm gone, I'm going to go and fucking box Jake Paul, you can't pull Nate back in then like you did with McGregor for a rematch to kind of flip the script, because he's gone. So what do you do? Because then Khamzat's picked up a loss and then he can't go and fight for the belt because he's coming off a loss. You know,
it's a tough one.
It's a lot of reward, but there's a lot of risk as well, especially a guy like Nate Diaz. It's a 5-round fight. Again, we haven't seen Khamzat over 5 rounds. There was certain things in the Gilbert Burns fight that people are kind of saying like, oh, he is human, but at the same time, his coaches are obviously saying he didn't fight the game plan. Had he just come out and wrestled, he could have pinned Gilbert for 5 rounds, which were we to argue that he couldn't have based on his fucking previous fights. But Nate Diaz is kind of like one of those guys, you know, and everyone knows I'm a Diaz fanboy, so of course I'm going to fight his corner. Yeah. But he does tend to like lull people into this fucking... He always, whether it's Leon Edwards in the last 30 seconds of the fight or McGregor in like the second round and even in the second fight or even Pettis or Masvidal, no matter how good they are, he kind of like, if he can stay in the fight, he kind of lulls them into having a fist fight with him. It's like Leon was so many levels above him in terms of technique that he dominated him for 24 and a half minutes, but he managed to lull him into a bit of a fucking brawl in the last 30 seconds and it nearly cost him. Same with McGregor. McGregor looked levels above him for the first and he lulled him into a bit of a fight. I know he lost the second fight with McGregor, but the same again. You know, it was kind of the same thing. So you never know. Like that's why people love Nate and why he's such a star is it's like fucking hell. He's just got this way of kind of like, no, like win, lose or draw, it's not gonna be like we're gonna have a fight. At some point, me and you are gonna it's gonna be like a street fight, and
you know he's gonna be good for it no matter where it comes in the fight as well.
Yeah, look, he's never gonna out wrestle Khamzat, is he? Could sub him, I suppose. He's elite level grappler, but you know it is tough against those wrestlers who are just looking to pin. And Khamzat's nasty as well. I mean, he comes and drops fucking really bad ground and pound. But at the same time, I think, like, again, throughout his career, Nate is kind of like, knows he's got scar tissue and stuff, and he's done a good job of when he is on the floor, he can kind of keep himself safe a little bit. And again, on the feet, we don't know how that goes, do we? Nate is, you would give the striking advantage to Nate, you'd probably give the power advantage to Khamzat. It's an interesting fight for me. Like, it's a freak show fight. It's a fight that shouldn't be happening. Khamzat should probably just sit out and have the next title shot. But at the same time, would I have preferred to see like Diaz and Poirier? Yeah. Would I prefer to see Diaz McGregor? Yeah. Probably would have even preferred to see Diaz and Ferguson or Diaz and Chandler. But this is what we got, and we don't know how much longer Nate is going to be around. So for me, as a Nate Diaz fan, you got to enjoy it, and I may or may not be going to Vegas to watch it. So so we'll see what happens there.
I would have liked to have seen him run it back with Masvidal, because I feel like Masvidal owed him that fight in a way, didn't he? He said to him at the end of the fight, I'm going to give it to you.
I think you're right. I think so. Like, with that fight, could Masvidal come out and win the 4th or 5th? Yeah, of course he could have. You know, he was dominant for the first 3. But was he getting tired? He was getting tired. And Nate had got an history of coming on strong in the 4th and the 5th round. And he's like the fucking Terminator, isn't he? You're not many going to put him away. But like I said, for me, any Nate fight is like, Nate could come in now and you would have to fight them, and I'd be like, oh yes, fucking can't wait. Let's watch.
Cheers, mate.
So
only one way that's going.
I can't wait for that fight. It's a bit of a weird one. UFC have kind of like tried to stitch him up, I think, but at the same time, it would be true Nate Diaz fashion. To win and then fucking flip Dana off, flip the UFC off, and then ride off and get a big money fight in against Jake Paul or something like that. If anyone's going to have that kind of ending to their career. And what I love about Nate, he's fucking nuts. I was listening to him on Ariel, and he was saying like, I'll probably come back to the UFC. He was like, and I'm thinking like, you're 36 now. He's like, but I just got other shit I want to do. So he's like, I'm not saying I want to be back, but I want to go and do my other shit, and I might come back and fight. And like, you're not looking at him and think, oh, he's off his fucking head. He's
being serious.
He's serious. Like,
fucking dead serious.
Like, I remember him saying it, he's like, I'll be fighting until I die. He's like, I'll never retire. Like, he's like, I'm always going to fight. As long as I can fight, I'm going to fight. So you never know with Nate. He's a fucking madman, and he makes a lot of money fighting as well. So there's always an initiative when you're making a couple. No doubt you'll pocket a couple of mil for this fight. He wouldn't be fighting otherwise, especially main event, pay-per-view points. So when you're getting chucked a couple of mil a time, the temptation to keep fighting is obviously there.
I think if he loses as well, it does absolutely nothing bad for him because they're like everyone's expecting it anyway. So going into it, he's not ruining anything.
And even as a Nate fan, like me, like a super fan, you wouldn't be fucking. I'm not looking at anyone saying, "Well, you really think Khamzat's going to just come and maul him?" Because it could well happen, couldn't it?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it might not happen. Like, I seen Khamzat's coach, in all fairness, come out and say, "Look, this isn't an easy fight." He's like, "Look how good Leon Edwards is," and he's like, and he still managed to clip him in that last 30 seconds. So he's like, and Leon Edwards is top of the division. So he's like, we're not looking at this thinking, oh, we're just going to go out there and walk through him. He said, we know, like, you know what you get when you sign up to fight Nate Diaz, I suppose. You got to be ready for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
I think he's been TKO'd once by Josh Thompson. And what was that, 10 years ago? So...
Yeah, I seen Leon talking about it as well because he had a press conference.
Yeah,
didn't
I
he?
seen it.
And he was saying, I'm a big Nate Diaz fan and whatever. It was really good to see actually because I thought like, fucking, especially as he clipped him at the end, I thought he may have been feeling like he'd left that fight a little bit, well, undecided really, wasn't it? Because I know he won the whole fight, but he did look at the end like, fuck, he could have lost that. Because I think everyone was looking at Leon after that fight thinking, can he go and do fucking hell, Kamaru now after that? Because it was a bit like... Fuck.
And MMA fans fucking nuts though.
Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Because you know, if say that fight was only a 24-minute fight, say like the rules changed and you know what, the 5th round we're just going to do 4 minutes. You'll be looking at that thinking, fucking hell, Leon's good. He's going to take some beating. If you can't take him down, you're fucked. That's why I'd be thinking. You'd think his striking is so good. Like Nate can strike, Nate can box, and for the most part, he outclassed Nate on the feet.
Yeah.
But then, because of that last 30 seconds, and like as a Nate fan, I loved it. I was going nuts. But it was an hard fight for me because you also want Leon to do well because you want a British guy to win the belt. But then it's like MMA fans like, yeah, well, what hopes he got against Usman if Nate's clipping him? It was like, well, he lost fucking what?
10 seconds.
30 seconds of a fight he lost, like of 24 and a half minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's like anyone can get clipped.
I think as well in that last bit, he's been so switched on the whole fight. I think he was just like, it's fucking 30 seconds left. Yeah, he just kind of probably switched off for a sec. Boom, that was it then, wasn't it?
And it's Nate Diaz. Do you know what I mean? It's like if anyone's gonna pull shit like that off, it's him. You got to kind of expect the unexpected. But yeah, so that's one I can't wait for. Funny as well that there was a title fight. I think it was the bantamweight title fight was due to be the main event. And they're like, nah, you're gonna have to move because Nate's fighting and we got to put a main event. But yeah, you can't wait. I'll be interested to see what the undercard is as well. I'm sure that it's pay-per-view, so no doubt they'll chuck on. Never know, might get Nick Diaz back in there.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be good.
That'd be fun.
How good would that be?
Do you think they'd fight on the same card?
I don't think they
or?
would. I think that's just me being hopeful. I don't think they would. I think they've even come out and said that they don't want to fight on the same card. But
I think it'd be off-putting for them both, because they've got such a tight connection.
I don't know what Nick's doing. We don't know what Nick's doing at the minute, whether he's going to fight again or what. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully I get out there to watch it.
That'd be class.
And, all right, then to wrap up, Cage Warriors Wales.
Yeah.
Cage Warriors coming back to Wales on the 13th of August. What's it, the first time in 3 years, H?
Think about since the pandemics was at 3 years.
Yeah, 3 and a bit. Yeah, I think the last Welsh show was Mason.
Yeah.
I fought in the April. I was due to headline in the October. Obviously went UFC. Yeah. I think Mason headlined that card.
108, I think.
And I don't think we've had one since. So yeah, just under 3 years. What's some of the fights? I know.
Let's have a look.
I'm not going to say because I don't know if these fights have been booked for the boys in gym that I shouldn't be talking about or not. So just give me the ones that have been announced.
They just put a title fight on it, haven't they, yesterday?
Yeah, they put Sam Creasy's fight in, defending his title.
So who's Sam Creasy fighting?
You should know his name. I got the name by ear, but I don't know how the hell I'm going to say it.
Ian Dean's job is purely to stitch me up verbally.
Bruce Buffer would know his name.
What's his name? That's the name. How do you say it? You've got to be able to shout this out, so...
He's also semi-blind, H, so... He is semi-blind.
We're going to go with Bricic.
Bricic. B-R-C-I-C. How would you all say that? Like
Bricic. That's right, he is now. Anyway.
Bricic.
Yeah. Has he fought in Cage Warriors before?
No, otherwise I definitely would know how to say his name.
Yeah. What's his record? Do we know?
No.
Never mind then. But yeah,
Sorry.
he
We
must,
don't know his name, let alone his record.
he must be decent. Obviously, to go in for the belt. I seen Sam do a post saying he's like number 1 in Germany or something. So I don't know how strong the scene is over there, but he's obviously a decent fighter. Oban's got a fight booked. I can't say who it is. I don't think they've officially announced it yet, but he's got a tough fight. It's not like a well-known Cage Warriors guy, but the guy's got a good record.
Hey, Joe, did they put a Instagram post up with Oban's opponent?
Have they? Well,
Double check it,
had
Joe.
it before I'd come here. Let's have a look.
Or was Aaron? Maybe that was somebody else.
No, not yet.
Perhaps Oban on a post saying
He said
he's
that he
got
was going to be
someone.
out tonight.
But yeah, it's going to be out tonight.
Oban said he was going to be out tonight, but we are risking it a bit in case it's like tomorrow.
Do I go full fucking Ariel Awani and
Do it.
and leak the news and have Graham piss off at me? Well, I'll tell you this much, right?
It's promotion, isn't it?
He's got a good record. He's 12-6. I don't know his name. I do know his name, but I can't remember his name. He's a foreign guy. I don't think he's fought on cage before, but he's not a big guy. I think he's fought at lightweight for most of his career. But he's got a good record, some good wins against good level guys as well. Although he's 12-6, he's got wins against guys with good records. He's lost to good guys. He's a good submission guy. So it's a good test for Oban, especially coming off a good win in his last fight. And I think a win here will I don't think it'll get him a title shot, but it will push him into a position where he can start saying, like the well-known Cage Warriors guys, like your give me some welterweights, H. Come on. Jamie Richardson.
Yeah.
Big Figlack. Matt Figlack, is that the big one?
Yeah, Matt
Figlack. Even the guy who beat Oban, Latvian Express.
Yeah. He had a good win, didn't he?
He had a good win on the weekend.
Yeah, really
It'll put him, a win here will put him in a position where he can start saying, right, well, this is how I want to fight next, and this is who I want to fight next. So yeah, that's a good fight for the card. What's Oban now? 6-2?
Yeah,
I think so. Yes,
5-2, something like that.
Yeah.
I think like him coming to Ebervale is going to be.
Yeah, so it's two guys with good records. Who else we got? Steph Evans making their pro
That's right,
debut.
yeah. That's
Big Steph.
rematch, isn't it? They fought each other down.
Yeah, they fought each other in the IMAF a couple of years ago. The girl beat Steph. She said she just hit her with it. She's a good judo girl, hit her with a throw and just landed in like an armbar. But Steph have come on leaps and bounds.
Yeah, she improved a lot.
Since then. She can strike now. She's powerful. She's a powerful girl, Steph. Like you watch her at again, we were saying it earlier, and I don't want to. I'm not speaking down on women's MMA by any means, but you don't see so many one punch hitters. But Steph can dig. She's not like, she didn't come up as a striker. Her striking's getting better and better every fight, and she can fucking punch hard. So, and now she can throw her elbows and her knees as well, which I think is gonna. And also she's got a hell of a ground game as well. Yeah. She's purple belt, but she's probably like brown belt level. There's not going to be many girls in the country, in my opinion, that could compete with her on the ground. So it's the other girl's pro debut as well.
Yeah.
So credit to him because, not fucking, what's Siri doing? Yeah. Sorry about that. Credit to him because not many fighters would take, as an 0-0, would take on a fighter who they've already fought, but they know is good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most fighters spend like 2-3 fights building themselves up as a pro. So yeah, just can't wait for Steph's debut. Owain Williams, from Show MMA, Big O's his pro debut. He's fighting a good guy from Fight Academy Island, which is Patrick McAllister's gym. The guy's 2-0, and we got a lot of respect for Pat and his team. We get on really well with them. We're really good friends. He always showed a lot of respect to me and my old man, and he's a really, really good coach, really underrated coach, I think, because of like SPG and stuff like that on Ireland. They don't necessarily get the credit that they should. Yeah. I think because they're Northern Ireland and they Belfast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
good
so
guys, the FAI guys.
You got like Paul Hughes, Reece McKee does a lot of training there. You got the wrestler who fought Scotty, Matthew Elliott.
Matthew Elliott.
Yeah. They've got a lot of bigger guys as well. They've got some really good boys, so that'll be a barn burner, no doubt, because Owain always comes to fight, and I'm not sure his opponents are like. I know he's 2-0. So, yeah, two good gyms.
Yeah.
Fair play to both. Any other fights we got on there?
Yeah, you got that Aaron Abbey from North Wales.
Yeah, who's he fighting?
Lupoli. Is that how you say his name?
Lupoli, yeah.
You know him?
Yeah. That Aaron Abbey, he's got a good story, isn't he?
Hell of a story.
What was it?
So, you'll know better than me, H, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know he had
cancer,
cancer.
I was
yeah.
going to say, he's a cancer survivor, so I don't know too much.
Twice or once?
I want to say twice, but I can't speak.
I think it was twice as well. Yeah.
Twice. I think he's overcome. He's been nominated for. Is it Fight of the Year or something?
No, it's not Fight of the Year. It's comeback story of the year. What's the fuck? Fighters Only.
That's right. The Fighters Only Awards, comeback story of the year. So that's a massive deal for someone outside the UFC to be picked up by them.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh, mate, I'd love to, like that sort of story. You'd love to see him go on to the UFC and do great things.
You would. He won his last fight, didn't he, Aaron? I think he lost the fight before that.
Yeah.
So obviously he's going to need a couple of wins, but the flyweight division at the minute is not a stacked division, is it? So a 3-4 fight win streak in a Cage Warriors belt, he's got every chance of getting in there. He'd
be a good one to try and get on. Like,
he would.
Just to get him to tell his story. Like,
I think having a win year could get him a title fight as well.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. He's a good guy. He's a really good fighter as well. And then like you said, the fact that he's got such a good story behind him.
So easy to promote,
It's
isn't it?
so easy. And he deserves it as well.
100%. As a fighter through and through.
You talk about like people getting nervous. How the fuck can you ever get nervous for a fight? Like getting knocked out or submitted, that means fuck all when you've survived cancer. Plenty of other things Aaron could be doing. It is Aaron, isn't it?
It is Aaron.
There's plenty of other things he could be doing. So he obviously loves the sport. Have we got any other fights at the minute?
I think we got let's have a look. Josh Reed, obviously. Josh Reed is fighting the Belgium kid, isn't he? Babu, was it?
Yeah, so we want Horse to get back in the win column, didn't go his way in the last fight. Tough fight, Shanks is a real good level opponent. But Josh don't take easy fights. He's always in the tough. Like, the easiest fight he's had on paper was probably, for a long time, was the one he had last September, because the kid was 4-0, but then you look at his background, he's a undefeated Dagestani wrestler, don't know anything about him. So even that's not an easy fight to take. Josh doesn't know how to say no to a fight. So
I can't wait to see him in Evervale, because I reckon he's going to be hyped.
He'll have a big.
Who knows him?
He'll have a big crowd over there as well. Obviously, Pontypool is what, fucking 15-minute drive away, so he'll have a big crowd. H will fire him up, I'm sure. And so we got the horse looking to get back to winning ways. He's looking good, mind. It's easy for me to say that, because I'm not going to say if he's looking shit, but he's had a little break on all days with his missus and stuff, and I think it's done him good, to be honest, because he seems as if he's been in like a constant, between helping me and waiting for dates, he seems like he's been in a fucking constant fight camp for 12 months. So I think a little break's done him good.
You got like all the amateurs as well on there, haven't you? We got Kane.
Kane's got a good fight. He's fighting Grant Ogborn. That's a good two good level amateurs. Johan's fighting Casper, which is again a good test for Johan. The right step up in competition for him.
Rowan Crocker as well. He's fighting.
Rowan is defending his title. Ooh, that's a good fight, because this fight was meant to happen, I think. Not the last Cage Warriors Wales. When was the one before that? March?
Yeah,
March. You're Rowan fought in March. This fight was meant on a Brett show, sorry.
Oh, right, yeah.
So the guy, Rowan's defending his belt. Again, this was meant to happen on Brett Jones's fight night. Obviously, the guy pulled out and then the show got cancelled. So these two are going to be familiar with each other. But Rowan's on fire at the minute. Just won the Four Nations Championship. It looks like I'm licking his ass every podcast, because the last one I think we was on about him winning that.
He looks better every fight.
He's getting more and more well-rounded. I'm watching him like in the gym. His striking's getting better. He's getting more confidence in his striking. His wrestling, because like for a tall guy, it's tough to fucking find your takedowns unless you're tying up. But he's looking better and better every time. And again, a good thing with Rowan. Sorry, he's not in no rush. No. Like, he wins this now, he's not gonna go. He wants to do the IMAF, and I think he said he wants to at least win an IMAF gold at adult before he even considers turning, or a medal at least. So it's really good. Good to see him doing things the right way. Like not rushing. He's still young. He's got plenty of time, and he's getting better every week. So I'm looking forward to any other boys from the gym on. I think that's it.
Johan, have we?
Yeah, Johan's on. The Wonder Kid is on.
Is Ellis Richards? Is he your?
Yes,
is he your
Ellis.
Gym? Yeah.
Well, he's Carl's. Carl's gym is like our gym basically, but he came up at Blanavon, which is my coach Carl's little gym that he's had for fucking 20 odd years, and Ellis he kind of like cross trains. He comes over us twice a week, And Ellis has got a tough fight, but Ellis is good. Fucking really good grappler, really good wrestler. He's working on his striking, so he's a young kid. He reminds me of Paul Sass. He's a fucking nightmare. He puts you in a triangle all the time. He's one of them. He's like Paul Craig even. I won't call him a one-trick pony because he's got a lot more to his arsenal than just a triangle. But every time he fights, he seems to get taken down and bang straight in the triangle. So Ellis is fighting as well. So hopefully he can pull off another triangle. It'd be nice, another first-round triangle.
Yeah, you know, with this card, then where do people get tickets? Is it from the fighters themselves as well?
Yeah, so you can. I think all the fighters have got their own link.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna buy tickets, obviously don't buy it from the generic link. Pick your favorite fighter on the card. Go to their Instagram, ask them for their link, and then they can get a bit of commission. Then every little helps. Fucking it's hard work. It is hard coming up as a novice pro. They're getting paid better than what I was probably at 1-0, but it's still not enough to make a living off. So get on there and support them. Get down there and support them. It's a big deal, guys, for Cage Warriors to bring a show to Wales, especially Eberville.
Yeah.
Look at all the Cage Warriors shows I ever fought, and they're always in cities: Newport, Cardiff, London. It's a big deal to be coming to the valleys, and people should get behind it and support it. It's going to end up being like Scotty's going to hopefully get on as well, Scotty Pedersen. So get behind them and support them. Even if you don't know no one that's fighting, get down there. It's a good night. You go, what? Fucking hell, it'll be like 15 odd fights. Have a couple of drinks, get a little bit rowdy. We don't mind a bit of that.
No,
do
we don't mind a bit.
So
we should point out as well, MMA was like banned in Blaenau Gwent.
yeah.
Like, 10 years ago?
Was it? Yeah.
So it's gone.
Not even 10 years.
Not even 10
I
years.
think the first time they started allowing shows in Blaenau Gwent again in 2015. So 7 years. Because they had a Muppet on the council. There was a show in Napoli and there was a bit of a scuffle in the crowd, got dealt with in 30 seconds. And he decided he's going to ban shows from the whole of Blaenau Gwent. Despite the fact that every fucking football game you go to, whether it be in Wales or England, whether it be fucking Sunday League, there's always fights in the crowd. Yeah. And that's all right, but lo and behold, two boys have a scuffle and it gets broken up in the crowd. But we're over that now anyway. Yeah. There's a much better people in charge. And I love the Eberville Leisure Centre. I got good memories there myself, and it's a cracking little atmosphere there. Great. The way it's set up. Great, yeah. And I think Cage Warriors are doing it even different so that it's going to be like, if anyone's ever been to Eberville before, the cage is down the bottom, whereas now it's going to be in the middle and the seats are going to be around it. So cool. I'm looking forward to seeing the setup. So get over there and support the boys. Well, root against the boys. We don't care as long as you're there watching.
Also, get over the girls,
and the girls.
Yes, yeah. We're not sexist over here.
No.
Well, we haven't even done this weekend's card.
Come on then, let's do this weekend's card. Wait, no fucking Russia. H is on his 6 weeks holidays.
Yes, I'm here for the duration, boys. I'm not.
You lucky bastard. I'd love to have 6 weeks off. It'd be the dream, wouldn't it? Juliana, Pena, Amanda Nunes, that's the main event. Should we start? We'll start lower down than that, is it? What about, Costa and Rocco's been moved, isn't it?
Why has that been moved? I seen that was cancelled.
Paulo Costa's playing around, apparently. According to Rocco, apparently he wants to keep moving the date. He wants it in August now, which is still only, what's the date now? 29th of July. That's like 3 days. But yeah, apparently he wants to move to August. Apparently he hasn't actually signed the contract, he reckons.
Oh, Costa.
Apparently, yeah, that's what he was saying in an interview. But he can't keep playing these games and not get cut, can he? The last fight was ridiculous.
Costa, though, has one of the funniest Twitter accounts you'll ever see. Do you see him share that picture of Paddy?
Yeah.
Do you see that?
No.
So, can him and Paddy been going back and forth online about getting fat and stuff?
Right.
And when Paddy made weight, he shared this picture of Paddy and he put on it, the weight making king, he has done it or something, and tagged Paddy, and there was a picture. So it was Paddy from his debut flexing a cage, and he had a McGregor tattoo and Costa's face on him. So he's fucking nuts, Costa. So that fight's moved. So what else have we got on the card?
Anthony Smith, Magomed Ankalaev.
That's a good fight.
That'll be a good fight. Anthony Smith gets all the contenders on the way up.
Anthony Smith will fight anyone.
Yeah.
And he's capable of beating anyone. It's a tough test, Ankalaev.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible.
Test, no.
You can see Smith if Smith is kind of hit and miss. I think if he turns up and he's on point, he's a nightmare for most people in the division. You see him some days, he kind of But then again, I'd say that because I'm thinking of the Glover fight. But then you look what Glover gone on to do after that. You kind of think that's not that loss has aged well. So yeah, that's a real interesting fight.
Yeah, he's only fighting the top guys really when you think about it. And like I think he's won his last 3, isn't he? So he's doing.
He did the right thing, didn't he? He lost like 2 or 3 in a row against like the elite, and he kind of like not took a step back, but was fighting like your rank 15s and your rank, and he racked up like 3 good wins.
Yeah.
And he did the right thing. You know, he's at the stage in his career where he probably doesn't need to be fighting. He's not in a rush to get a title, I don't think, is he?
No.
Look, you know, he's comfortable fighting. He's not like a guy who's talking about, oh, I won the title and I want to retire. So
He's had 52 fights. That's fucking insane,
that's
isn't
insane, isn't it? That's
mental.
insane. And you know what? I'm sure when I listen to him on a podcast, I'm sure he's had like 12 amateur fights as well.
Yeah. And he had the one in the home invasion, innit?
Yeah, fucking hell.
That story's insane, isn't
Could
it?
have picked the fucking better home to invade, couldn't he, than Anthony
Yeah,
Smith?
fuck, imagine rocking up there and trying to nick
Oh,
his
nice.
telly.
I've come in here to nick a TV. It happens to be like the number 4 light heavyweight in the world.
He said it was the hardest fight he's ever had, and he reckons like it was because the adrenaline and everything.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure I believe that.
Like, no.
No.
When you fought
And I
John
think
Jones and
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
go, I'm not
Yeah,
sure I
yeah.
fucking
Well, he
believe
won, didn't he? So it kind
Yeah.
of the hardest one.
You had to have a
but-
cover-up story for him. He was sat on Mount dropping elbows, didn't he?
Yeah, could well be that.
True. Big dog Derek Lewis back in the mix.
Brilliant. I've been watching his media all week. Do you see him at the press conference? That the guy from Mac Life, the British guy, asked him a question. He asked for a Spanish translator.
I haven't seen.
He asked for a Spanish translator, and basically the question was like, you know, the last 2 fights, you've promised to come out swanging and banging.
I did see that.
Are you still gonna do the same thing? And he's like played about the translator, and he's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna bang his ass up.
I'll be honest, I haven't heard of the guy. He's 15-1 though. So
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
is
He can wrestle as well.
Pavlovich.
Hopefully the Black Beast just nails him with the up. Because in my opinion, whenever the Black Beast is fighting, you got to root for him to win. Apart from when he fought Tai Tuivasa, he's the same type of guy. So with that, it was like whoever wins. We don't give a fuck as long as we see him bang it
Just
out.
see fireworks.
But,
on that one.
You got to root for the Black Beast. So hopefully, he just hits him with an uppercut from hell on the way in.
Yeah. Then flyweight. I think is this interim? They're doing
Interim, yeah.
Moreno and Kai Kara France. I'm looking forward to that because I quite like both of them as a character. Like they're both
good guys, and they're both very good as well. Kai Kara France, they fought before, haven't they? Moreno won the first fight. Kai Kara France is such a good striker, really good technique. Typical guy from City Kickboxing. You know, Izzy's gym. You know they're going to be good strikers coming from there, and he's powerful as fuck for a flyweight. The only, it's not a worry that he gasses. He doesn't gas, but Moreno, you know he's going to come hard for 5 rounds. He's tough as they come. And if Figueiredo can't knock you out, I struggle to see anyone knocking him out at flyweight. And his volume is so good, Moreno. He reminds you of your typical Mexican boxer. He throws first and he throws last. Regardless of what's in between, he's going to land the first punch and he's going to land the last punch of every exchange. And that's a tough guy to beat if you can't take him down and pin him. Obviously, Figueiredo beat him in the last fight. In my opinion, Moreno won. But it was a close fight, so we're not going to argue it. But regardless, it's got all the makings of a quality fight.
Should we? These last 3 fights: Derek Lewis, Pavlovich, Moreno, Kai Kara France, Pena, Nunes. Should we all stick a tenner in and winner takes all on bets? See who's close. Well, it's going to be quite hard to see who's closest on 3 fights I would have thought, but there's got to be a way, isn't there?
We'll do a parlay. each. We'll all have our picks.
Calm down, Drake.
And
Where's my rollie?
Yeah.
we'll do a thing each, and whoever gets the closest, we'll work it out. We'll work it out.
All right, cool.
Radio sounds like. Well, I'll leave it there. Who's your picks?
We'll do Smith as well, shall we? Anthony Smith's fight.
I'll probably make it easier to figure it out.
So what have we got?
So
I'm gonna go Ankalaev.
Can you see it?
I can now, yeah.
I'll go Ankalaev TKO.
Radio. I only go Smith on that one.
Oh.
You got to give a how, is it?
Yeah.
I reckon he's gonna choke him out. Submission.
I'm going to go Smith TKO.
Right. Skip that fight, go straight to the Black Beast.
Radio. Derek Lewis, Pavlovich. I have to go Lewis knockout.
Yeah, I'm going the KO King by KO.
Yeah, I'm going to go Lewis knockout.
The Black
too.
Beast. What do you do, get all that?
yeah. Why are you copying me? That's a bit rude, isn't it?
Well,
I think though you've got like who isn't going to go.
Who's not going to pick that? They're not a good
I'm going to pick him by submission.
We may as well just rule that fight out.
A good outsider bet would be Pavlovich by submission.
Yeah, that would be the way that would.
But I'm never picking against the Black Beast.
Same, yeah. Well, who you going there? Moreno, Kai Kara France.
I'm going to go Moreno decision. I don't think either of them. I think they're both too tough to be finished. I think it'll be a case of whoever can rack up the most points, and I think Moreno decision. Maybe I don't know. Do you know what? I'm gonna go out there. Moreno submission.
Radio. What are you saying,
Okay,
H?
I am going to go. You have to bring it closer, Joe, so I can read that name.
Told you he was blind.
Yeah. I'm going to go.
Fucking hell, H, come on.
Oh, it's tiny font on you.
The fight's tomorrow, man.
Nice. I'm going to go Cut of France by TKO.
TKO.
Ooh. Yeah.
Ooh, risky one now, H.
I'm going to go Kai Kara France by decision.
Oh, I'm fucking winning this all day, boys.
Do you reckon?
I'm winning this all day.
I don't think so. Somehow. I don't know mine.
And then main event, again, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go Pena. It's going to be by finish. I don't know if it'll be... I think it'll be... I'm going Pena submission. I think Lightning's going to strike twice. He did it with Molly. I got a feeling he's going to do it with Pena.
I'd like to see a win, but I'm going to go Nunes KO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Nunes
I'd like
KO.
to see
That's
that
the
as
safe.
well.
That's the safe
But I
bet,
think
isn't it?
Nunes KO.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So there's a little bit of difference in these. We'll have to get these clipped up because I'll never
we'll get 'em
remember who chose what at the end of it. But yeah, that's a good one. I think you never know. There's so many back and forths on this card that you just don't know who's going to take that.
MMA is the worst sport in the world for betting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you want to act like you know what you're doing or not, it's a fucking nightmare to bet. Unless you're like a pro better. You know you can bet the over and the under, but to pick the winner and how they're going to win is fucking tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good way to end it there. Tenner each, winner takes all. H, thanks for coming on. Where can people get you at?
You can find me at Howell Chaplin MC on all social media. That's HYWEL.
UFC.
For the Howell.
Howell
Get in
Chaplin
touch.
MC,
Howell
yeah.
Chaplin MC.
Can you do any other shows other than Cage Warriors? But can we promote you to be booked up, or
Yeah,
you
no,
or
I
you
can,
can't?
yeah,
Right, if you want, if you need a world class MC, and you know, don't be afraid to, don't be fucking coming in with shit money either. All right, pay the man, then get at H. You can catch us on the Tanked Up podcast on Instagram, and are we on TikTok now?
We are on there, but we're
We're slow.
one video on there
on
in a minute.
Instagram and TikTok. Don't forget to follow the YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe. This video, check out our shorts as well. We've also started some YouTube gaming. Well, I say Joe's just the man behind the settings. So yeah, keep your eye out for them. And there was something else I wanted to promote. The Tank's now on Cameo. So if you want a birthday message, good luck. If you want me to rip your friend, if you want me to rip you, if you want me to rip H, if you want me to rip Joe, get on Cameo. And for a very, very good price, then I'm your man to do your job. So you
Fortunately, I've never had to pay for him to rip me.
I've always done it for free. You can get that on my Instagram as well. Link in bio for all of them. Yeah. And again, thank you all for watching. We will let you know on the Instagram page who the winner of the bet is between me, H, and Joe for the fights. And hopefully now I'm back, we can get another podcast done fairly soon. Cage Warriors is coming. We're going to try and get a guest on. We don't know who yet because me and Joe, we're not very organised.
We're not. We're just rolling with the punches.
That's the top and bottom of it. So thank you all for watching. Joe, what are you going to say?
One last thing. I was going to say, we're going to start a Patreon because we want to get more consistent and we want to bring everyone involved more.
Yeah.
And we're going to drop details about that probably the next week or two. We haven't quite figured it out yet.
Yes,
but
keep your eyes peeled. That'll be on my Instagram, Joe's Instagram, the Tanked Up Instagram. So keep your eye out for that. Again, thank you all for watching and we will see you next time.
Cheers. Cheers, mate.
On the clay,
Episode
my
one
peace
of
laid
the
like
Tanked
listening
Up
to a
podcast.
strally bang. If it's beef, we ain't losing. Keep it moving like a caravan. See fair to make the back door. Get go, that's what we trap for. Some man, they wanna chat shit till I knock 'em ain't like I'm Jack
Levels
Shaw.
to the game.
Rolls high, rolls back, my flow sharp like a hacksaw. Getting off.